Today on our show, we're talking our favorite families, our favorite family units in movies and TV. That's next for you on Nerdynomicon. Welcome to the Nerdynomicon. I'm Robbie.
And I'm Adrian.
Before we get too deep into it, man, I have just one question for you that's going to tie into our theme.
How was your week?
Actually, it was going to be, who the hell are the Addams Family? But yeah, how was your week?
It was pretty good. Who the hell are the Addams Family?
Yes, who are the Addams Family? Like, we know who they are, but what are the Addams Family?
Where are the Addams Family?
No, seriously, where are the Addams Family? I mean, I'm not necessarily saying that I need a reboot because I thought Raul Julia was great as Mr. Addams, but damn, I can't picture another Gomez, but damn.
Let's say you have to recast it right now. Who you cast as who?
Oh man. Let me think about that while we hit up our news and everything like that and talk a little Guardians, but we'll circle back to that when we get to the main topic today. But that one's going to be difficult.
I like throwing wrenches in your plans.
That was a wrench, dude, because Raul Julia was just so perfect.
It was perfect.
So, damn. All right, well, as we said, welcome to the Nerdynomicon. We got a little bit of news in pop culture, and we got a little bit of news about what you guys can expect in the next couple of weeks. That's right, you're getting a trailer for the next few episodes in the middle of an episode, because we're meta like that. That's how we like to do shit. But the first bit that I want to talk about, Adrian, and I'm pretty sure, if I remember right, this is going to directly affect you, because I'm pretty sure that you enjoyed the Hellboy movies.
Sure. I mean, they weren't bad. They were enjoyable. I'm not sure I ever saw the second one all the way through. I know I've seen bits and pieces of it here and there.
Really? I would have bet my left nut that I remembered you going on a rant about how much you loved Golden Army.
That was not me, and your left nut should be happy that he was not bet.
Apparently. Oh, man, I could have sworn that was you. But alas, I guess I was wrong. Well, to all of our Hellboy fans out there who love them some Ron Perlman, who love them some Del Toro, unfortunately, Del Toro is a lot like me and has a curse attached to him. Because we are getting some more Hellboy. But it's not the third movie that we've been waiting for so long. Ron Perlman is not attached. Neither is Guillermo del Toro. We are not getting the third movie in the series. Instead, we are getting a reboot. However, they did promise it will be a hard R. So that's definitely good. Looks like at the helm, it's going to be the director for The Descent and Dog Soldiers, Neil Marshall. David Harbour, most recently known for his role as Police Chief Jim Hopper in Stranger Things, is going to replace Ron Perlman as Hellboy. So, I mean, they could definitely have picked a worse director or certainly a worse actor because I love them both. I thought that The Descent was one of the greatest horror movies of probably that year or a 3-year radius in either direction. I thought it was an absolutely fantastic movie that definitely holds up. Dog Soldiers was kind of a hidden gem. I'm not going to say that it was a great movie, but it was definitely a fun movie. And Stranger Things just rocks my socks. So anybody from Stranger Things, dude, fucking cast Winona Ryder as Hellboy just because of Stranger Things and you've got my money. Like, I'll just throw my wallet on the table for you. But I'm not going to lie, I'm kind of depressed now. I'm kind of depressed about that.
Well, don't be depressed.
Well, I loved me some Ron Perlman. I loved me some Del Toro.
I can brighten your day.
Brighten it.
And you might already know that this might be in your segment, and I'm jumping ahead. But okay. I believe I recently heard that we're getting an animated Deadpool series, adult themed, not like pornographic adult, but did you hear that?
No,
yeah,
I did not hear that. Adrian bringing some news. Usually it's me reading the news to you. Oh my God, you got me so excited here.
Yeah, let me bring up the actual... I saw that within the past... Yeah, here it is. Deadpool adult animated TV series coming from Donald Glover.
Donald Glover? Are you fucking kidding me right now? Lando? We're getting this from Lando?
Young Lando. And...
Oh my God.
If this floats your boat, animation will be done by Floyd County Productions, which are the same people that work on Archer.
What do you mean, if that will float my boat? I am so excited right now. You have no idea. Adrian, feel these nipples.
I can't.
I am so excited about this. Holy shit, dude. So, within the last week and a half, we're getting more Hellboy. We've just found out that Spawn is going to be happening to us. We found out a couple of weeks ago, Sam and Twitch, it's happening. All over our face, neck, and chest. Goddamn. And now Deadpool.
Yep, animated Deadpool.
Now Deadpool. Wow.
And
okay, well...
It's coming to FXX, which is the same channel that has...
You know, that's a good home for it.
Archer,
I'm cool with that.
Has Always Sunny. So, yep. And it's going to be R-rated, or, it's going to be a series for adults. It's not they're like, oh, Deadpool for PG-13 and under. So, be interesting.
I'm fine with that.
I don't think they've pegged the
Let's make that
yet.
happen. Ryan Reynolds, just give him the money. Let him walk in and be like, I demand $2 million in a quesadilla. You find that man $2 million in a quesadilla. Give him all the quesadillas. Just roll in a quesadilla cart. Just give him quesadillas just off the cart all day long. Chub them up. Make them look like me. It'll be great. That's all we need for Deadpool. Just make the Deadpool happen.
So there you go. I brightened your day. That's what I'm here for.
You definitely did.
I'm surprised you hadn't heard about that.
I hadn't. Oh my God, you brought the news right to me.
Yeah.
You just
breaking
fried
news.
It up and set it right down. I love that. All right, man. We've got a couple of things that I just wanted to touch on about things that are happening to us. Then there were two other things that I cannot believe I forgot that we needed to talk about.
Okay.
Two other things. And both of them trailers. As Adrian says before, we got trailers for days that we got to talk about. So all I wanted to say is a couple of the episodes we've got coming in the future. Next week, we've got an awesome horror episode where Adrian's going to be taking over the theme on that one. And we've got a 3-part series starting up next week that's going to be counting us down to Twin Peaks. So you got the first episode. It's going to be me and it's going to be Holly. We're talking about Twin Peaks, the series. We're going to be hitting the highlights. We're going to be talking the mystery, who killed Laura Palmer, and we're going to be taking you guys directly into the Black Lodge. After that, I've got an episode with Aaron O'Brien from the Synthaholics podcast. He's going to be sitting down with me talking about Fire Walk with Me. Then, and this is the reason I wanted to bring this up as a little trailer, we're going to be doing a Facebook Live on the Nerdynomicon group. So if you guys have not joined the Nerdynomicon group, that's your little prompt. Now is your time to do so because we're going to be recording a podcast on Facebook Live. So join us, man. Facebook.com/group/Nerdynomicon. If you need the spelling, then look at the podcast that you're currently listening to right now. All right? Because the banner's right there. It says the show. It's crazy if you don't know the spelling. I can't tell you how many times people have messaged me about that.
And if you're listening on somebody else's headphones, like a romantic couple and one of those rom-coms, where like one person has one and the one other person has the other, ask the other person. If you don't know, just ask.
Exactly.
You're already sharing earwax, just ask.
I'm not trying to be obstinate. If I really need to give you the spelling of the show you're listening to right now, I will spell it for you. But come on, man.
Do it. Spell it right now.
Do you know how many times?
Right off the top of your head. Go. Go.
Nerdy. Nerdy. Nomicon. And I think the problem that I'm having is a lot of people think it's two separate words. It's all one word. Nerdynomicon. Like the Necronomicon.
But with the nerds. It brings nerds back from the dead.
Exactly. I'm not trying to be an ass here, but do you know how many times I've gotten that message? Like, even on our Twitter. We have a link to the show on the Twitter. They're like, how do you spell the show? I'm trying to look it up. Click the link, bruh. What? Okay, fair enough. So, definitely, I'm done with that now. Sorry, making fun of some of our listeners, but you know what? We love all of you guys.
Robbie, you're in a bad mood this week. You're angry.
I'm not in a bad mood. I'm actually quite happy. I'm just disappointed about Ron Perlman. Maybe that's why I'm surly. I don't know. But definitely check us out, man. Facebook.com/groups/Nerdynomicon. I'll definitely give you guys the dates once we figure out exactly which date it's going to be, but it's going to be in, by the time you guys are listening to this, about a week and a half. It's going to be midweek for you guys. So check us out, man. We're going to be recording a podcast live where we're talking about the first 3 episodes of the new season of Twin Peaks. Back after 25 years. It's back after 25 years. I cannot tell you how mind-boggling that is. A quarter of a century we've been without Agent Dale Cooper.
It's like,
and we're getting it all back.
It's like it just came back from the store with cigarettes. And you're just like, yeah, I missed you. Where have you been?
Basically, seriously, Dan. It's absolutely insanity. You know why it's so insane? And this is another episode we've got coming up in the next few weeks. This is the first show that has been able to be resurrected after the Curse of the Palmer. I fall in love with a show, and it gets canceled.
You fell in love with this. You fell in love with this show 25 years ago?
No, I fell in love with it like 10 years ago, and it was already canceled. But I still factor it in.
I don't think that counts as Curse of the Palmer.
It knew that I was gonna love it. It knew that I was gonna love it, so it got it early.
You kill shows when they're in their formative stages. That show was killed when you were in your formative stages.
Oh my God, man! I cannot tell you how excited I am for this. You know, it's going to be our first Facebook Live podcast. We're going to be talking about Twin Peaks. I cannot wait for this. But all right, so that's enough self-promotion, enough self-advertising. Adrian, we got a couple of trailers to talk about.
Okay.
And I know we got to talk about these because you're the one that found them.
Oh, yeah?
Oh, yeah. The first trailer, because believe it or not, we have not talked about these on the show. We've only talked to each other.
That's not possible.
It is possible,
no.
Man. It is possible. We found these trailers the day after we recorded the last episode, which will never be aired because the audio was corrupted.
Thanks, Trump.
Yeah.
I was going to say thanks, Obama. I was going to say thanks, Obama, but he's not in the White House anymore, so.
Romney.
Is he?
No. Thanks, Trump. So anyway, the first trailer we got to talk about is The Dark Tower.
Yes.
Holy shit. Now, before we go on there, seeing as though I've already established I've got a reputation tonight, apparently, for being a surly dickhead, so I need to live up to that. Can we stop, please, with the trailers for trailers? I understand the idea of a teaser. You know, get you amped and excited for what is to come. I mean, they've been doing that for us for months with Dunkirk. I wanted to see it, and I didn't even know what the hell that movie was about. For all I knew, it had a kaiju in it. I had no idea. It was just a bunch of soldiers turning around, staring into the sky, and looking all worried. Dunkirk. Like, I don't know what's going on in the best possible way. I am so in for this. Now we've got the trailers, now I know what it's about, and you know what? I'm still going. You had me with the teaser. But can we stop with the trailers for the trailer? Like, in 24 hours, the trailer for The Dark Tower. Dude, seriously, just give us the trailer.
Yeah, I think that was the problem.
I don't need to know why.
It was the 24 hours. Like, if it was a longer thing, it's like, hey, in 2 weeks or in a month, like, this Dark Tower trailer is coming out. But it's like, don't release something that says something is coming out in 24 hours. Like, we've already been in the dark and waiting for it, so just wait that extra 24 hours and then give us...
Exactly.
Yeah, just drop it, you know?
Exactly.
I guess I get it from a marketing standpoint. They're building hype to build the hype. They're trying to remind
then you know what? You
but...
build the hype with more time to spare than just 24 hours, okay?
Yeah.
They've been building the hype slowly over this with the addition of Idris Elba and Matthew McConaughey. I'm in with that cast list already. I don't need no 24-hour trailer to tell me to watch the trailer. Just give me the fucking trailer. But enough of that. Let's talk about the actual trailer.
Incredibly surly. Oh my God.
I'm sorry, man. This is so out of character with me because usually I'm there to suck the dick of anything that we're talking about. And you know, get ready for it. Get the gagging noises going because the trailer for The Dark Tower, Idris Elba like a boss.
Yeah.
Oh my fucking God. This trailer looks incredible. Now, I will be the first to admit, I liked, but not loved, the few Dark Tower books that I've read. I've read The Gunslinger. I've read, I think, the first 3 books. The Gunslinger I've read twice because, admittedly, I was a little bit young when I first read them, and I didn't quite get it. Mm-hmm. And when I read it a little bit later, when I was a little bit later in life, I was a lot better. Then I kind of went on from there, and then got busy with other things.
It's funny that you only read the first 3, because from what I understand, I think the 4th one is typically heralded as like the best one in the series.
I think so, yeah. If I remember right, you're correct in that number. But I did only read the first 3, and I did not picture Roland looking like Idris Elba.
Nope.
You know, I pictured him looking a lot more like John Wayne or something.
Yeah, he was basically modeled after Clint Eastwood. He was basically Clint Eastwood, young Clint Eastwood.
Yeah. So, I mean, I guess I can see that. But now we've got Idris Elba as the gunslinger. And those little monologues, I do not shoot with my head, I shoot with my heart. And then, boom! Bullet just goes all crazy, shoots the guy, he can't even see him. The guy's behind some fucking tents, drops him like a rock. I will never not see Idris Elba. I will never not see Idris Elba when I think of Roland now. Yeah. Ever.
Yeah.
Even if I never see this movie, even if it's the biggest piece of crap that's ever been brought out of Hollywood, that trailer became religion when it comes to The Dark Tower. This trailer looks so incredibly good.
Yeah, it does. I was really, really impressed. And I think my favorite part of the trailer is there's a scene where he's reloading, and it's not the slow motion one that they showed like 2 or 3 times in the trailer. There's a scene where he's spinning the barrel, and you can see he's holding the gun down kind of by his hip. He spins the barrel, and he's holding the bullets in his hand loosely, and he just like pops them into the chamber
and just drops them right in.
Yeah, and I was like, "That's awesome," because that's what he's supposed to be able to do. He is basically born to kill people.
Oh,
with a
definitely,
gun.
man.
You know, he was born to sling
definitely,
guns.
Absolutely. And you know what else just got me? Because even though Academy Award winner at this point, Academy Award winner Matthew McConaughey, I still wasn't completely sold on Man in Black.
No, I wasn't either.
I'm sold.
Yeah.
Even just that little bit in the trailer, I'm fucking sold. The Man in Black, a.k.a. Randall Flagg, for those of you who are fans of The Stand, that is who that is. Matthew McConaughey as Randall Flagg. I'm in, dude. This is happening to us. You can't stop The Dark Tower. You can't stop this. This is happening to us. And it's happening in a big, bad way. This trailer has got me so psyched.
I feel like you're developing catchphrases, and I love it. Like you can't stop this, whatever this is. It's happening to you in a big bad way. All over your face, neck, and chest.
Oh, you
unassisted.
Said it this time. Unassisted.
You're gonna be like you're gonna turn into like the John Madden of podcasting. You're gonna be doing this for so long, and you're not really gonna make any sense anymore. But you're gonna have like catchphrases, and people are just gonna love you.
Just wait till we start up the YouTube channel. Now that's primarily going to be Holly, but you're gonna see my ugly mug from time to time. Maybe I will start up a John Madden thing while talking about pop culture. I'll just put on a wig or something, have a bowl of chicken wings in front of me, and just start drawing in the air. I'll get a green screen. So I can just draw, like, an offensive line for the pop culture thing that I'm referring to. Like, maybe I'll do it with Doctor Who and talk about the Daleks. I don't know.
Oh, you need, like, a telestrator? That would be great.
Yes.
Oh, I bet we could work that out.
Yes, bitch.
We could work that out.
Oh, yeah, we can totally do this. So then the Daleks start here, and then they got to go here. And the whole idea of exterminate is the fact that they need to exterminate the target. So that's what's happening. So when they're exterminating them, that creature is at that point exterminated. Tough acting tonight.
Now, usually the army that kills all the other army is the one that wins the war.
How is it that this guy had a career for so long? Oh, my God.
You know what? I bet you he's still making bank every year because his name is on that EA Sports, you know.
Yeah, you're probably right about that, bro.
Is he still alive? I feel like I would have known if he died, but I don't know why I would have known.
Because I don't care, but at the same time I do. It's like, I don't like you, John, but I like you. It's like, I don't want to watch you, but I do. Ugh, the duality of man. You're right, I am surly tonight. What the hell?
Well, you know, John Madden's enough to piss anyone off.
All right, so did we have anything else that we wanted to say about Dark Tower before we go on to trailer number 2?
I can't wait. I can't wait for Dark Tower.
Same here.
I'm very excited. I was nervous. I was not impressed with the casting of Matthew McConaughey. I really wasn't. But
originally I wasn't either. And then I saw the trailer.
Yeah, from what I see in the trailer, I think he can pull it off. And I think everyone else around him can pull it off. The special effects looked really, really good. The story looks like it's fairly close to the book, although I'm sure there's going to be some differences.
Of course,
and I know how they explain the differences away, but I will not tell Robbie because it's based on how the whole books go. So yeah, it'd be a spoiler for you if you ever. Oh, you know what? I got an idea. This hit me when you were saying you stopped. You stopped after reading the 3rd book, and the 4th book is like the best one. And it got me thinking. It's like, wow, you got through. I don't want to say the worst books, but you got through all the stuff that was less than, and then you stopped You stopped right when you're getting to the good stuff. And you said that to me when I told you I stopped watching The Walking Dead. So if you start picking up the Dark Tower series again, I will go back to The Walking Dead. How about that?
Sir, you have a deal.
I think that's fair.
I think that that's totally fair. Now, do I have to read them, or can I substitute in for audiobooks?
I'll have to think about that. Because I feel like you wouldn't. I feel like it'd be easier for you to do audiobooks. I feel like that would be more convenient, but I don't know that you wouldn't. I don't know how enjoyable that would be versus actually reading it. You know what I mean?
No, I totally get you.
So I never personally got into audiobooks, so I can't make the distinction. I'm sure.
Now, see, I absolutely love audiobooks, but it depends on the narrator. Like, for instance, Nosferatu by Joe Hill, which is Stephen King's son, and The Dark Tower is based on Stephen King's series. See, it all comes together when I make references. It all comes together. It's a little golden circle. I love the book Nosferatu. I did not care for Kate Mulgrew when she was the narrator for the audiobook. It kind of detracted from it. So I couldn't even finish the audiobook. I just kept on reading. I just set aside a block of time every night to read. Then I exceeded that block of time by a minimum of an hour, and I just blew through that novel. And I blew through it several times. It's one of the best contemporary novels I've read in quite some time.
How about this? Why don't you start on the audiobook, and if you can't do it, then switch to the regular book.
I can do that. I know that Brooke has at least the first 6.
I think only
they're
7.
up to I thought that they were up to 9 now.
Did he release more?
I thought so. Don't quote me on this, but I thought he did.
Maybe I'm mistaken of how many books there are. Because when I stopped, the last book that I read, it was pretty much the end of the series. I guess he released something else in 2012. So there's The Gunslingers, the first book. There originally are only 7. It was Gunslingers, the first book. Drawing of the Three is the second book. The Wastelands is the third book. Wizard and Glass is the one that I was talking to you about. That is widely regarded as one of the better ones in the series, if not the best one. Then it goes to The Wolves of the Calla, Song of Susanna, and The Dark Tower, the final 3 books of that original 7. The 8th book, The Dark Tower, The Wind Through the Keyhole, does not have a Roman numeral after it, so I do not believe that it's... I don't know. I don't believe that it's...
So that one may be just like Tales of the Dark Tower.
Yeah, it might be a rogue one. I'll have to check that out, though.
Okay.
That's an 8-year span. The Dark Tower series, the first 7 were finished and released in 2004. That last one, The Wind Through the Keyhole, came out in 2012. So, that's interesting. I did not know about that.
Yeah, got to do some research there, my friend. All right, so we've talked about that. Now, you made a reference to one of my other catchphrases. You want to talk about coming unassisted? We're going to be talking about the second trailer, The Defenders. The same morning that we saw the Dark Towers trailer drop, Adrian also posted into the group. I didn't even know that this was going to be happening. He posted the trailer for The Defenders in there. It's happening to us. All 4 Defenders in this trailer. Luke Cage, Matt Murdock, Jessica Jones, and Danny Rand. As we call him, the incomparable Danny Rand. Lots of people hate him. We love him. Or at least I love him. And it's happening. The Defenders trailer. Sigourney Weaver as their big bad, and I still have no idea who that character is. But it's coming, man.
Doesn't matter.
Elektra's in the trailer, and of course we have a hallway fight scene, like you do.
You have to.
It's a Netflix Marvel show. It's not. It's almost, a rite of passage. If you have a first season, you have to have a hallway fight scene. I would say in the second seasons it can be optional, but hell, Daredevil did it, so why not?
Why not everyone?
So, especially with that kind of remix of Come As You Are by Nirvana in there, I thought that the music was excellent. I was just so overjoyed to see Jessica Jones back again. Charlie Cox walks in playing his character Matt Murdock, a.k.a. Daredevil, saying that he's the lawyer. And she's just like, okay. You're seeing some interesting tension between Luke Cage and Danny Rand in their interaction there. I'm the immortal Iron Fist. The what? You're on the same side. And here's the thing that got me so excited about that is them giving each other attitude like that. They're supposed to be best friends, and as far as I know, that's what the actor that's playing Luke Cage is lobbying for in season 2. Is we're going to be getting Heroes for Hire. We're going to be getting those two teaming up, taking out the bad guys in New York. So I'm hoping that the Defender sets that up. This just has me over the moon excited. This trailer was so good that my 1-year-old son was sitting on my lap and kept on asking me to replay it. He kept on grabbing my phone and just trying to swipe for it to make it replay over and over, and just sat there giggling, which in turn made me giggle even harder because I'm just sitting there beaming from ear to ear. Then I look down at him and I'm happy as hell that my kid's turning into a nerd just like his old man. I'm loving this. It was a religious experience that day with trailers. It was such a good day for what we're going to be getting in the future.
I think you nailed it, man. I don't have much to add. The hallway fight scene, yes. All four together, yes. Matt Murdock, popping in as Jessica Jones' lawyer out of nowhere. Awesome. Iron Fist being Iron Fist, sure. And Power Man? What's his? Luke Cage.
Power Man?
Luke
Yes.
Cage being Luke Cage. Why not?
Yeah, well, you got his code name in the comic books accurate, too. Yeah, he was Power Man in the comics. And here's the best part, because Adrian and I have talked about this at length. With the exception of, in my opinion, the first season of Daredevil, I would say that the majority of these series could stand to lose anywhere from 3 to 5 episodes per. I think Iron Fist, with the plot that they had, could stand to lose 1 or 2 episodes. I personally was an Iron Fist apologist. I thought it was a really good rendition. I think that all of the problems that it had could have been taken care of with more time in production and a stunt double and just giving the guy the fucking mask. But that's just my personal opinion on the matter. So I think that Iron Fist was pretty concise, and I think that Daredevil Season 1 was definitely where it needed to be. Everything else should have been a little bit shortened, a little bit abbreviated. I think that Luke Cage could have lost almost half of that season and been slightly more effective because it just seemed to drag on in a few parts.
Yeah.
Jessica Jones probably could have lost about 3 of those episodes, just to truncate the story and just abbreviate it. I feel like it, yeah.
You are surly tonight. You're chopping down Jessica Jones 3 episodes? That's your baby.
I love Jessica Jones. I think that overall it is definitely the best of the series. However, and this is a big however, I felt like a couple of the episodes toward the end, although it had perfect plot points in them, it seemed to drag on in unnecessary ways. Specifically with the Nuke story arc. He hasn't even been mentioned or brought in whatsoever in any of the other shows, and it doesn't look like, and I could be wrong, it doesn't look like we're going to be getting him in the Defenders either. I feel like there was way too much setup for absolutely no payoff and ultimately just a shock moment toward the end of his arc. I feel like a lot of that could have been truncated. So, that being said, I think Jessica Jones could have gone down by about 2 or 3 episodes. And it would have been, if it had done that, I think that would have been a perfect series, or a perfect season, rather, of television. And I'm not just talking Netflix Marvel shows. I'm not just talking about Netflix shows. I'm not just talking about action shows. I'm talking about shows, period. If you were to lump everything together, I would put Jessica Jones at the top of almost everything on television within the last 15 to 20 years.
Wow, that is high praise.
That is how much I loved Jessica Jones. I thought that the acting, the writing, the production, the cinematography, I thought that everything about it was so incredibly good, except for the pacing issues in the last quarter of the show. And I even thought that the finale was out of control good. So the reason that I'm bringing up the running time of these series is because The Defenders is supposed to be only 8 episodes long. I am happy about the shortened season. I'm not sure how I feel about that, considering we're getting all 4 together. This is the first time since I saw Jessica Jones and realized that it had a little bit of a pacing issue where I'm slightly worried that 8 is not enough. I think that Luke Cage would have been perfect at 8 episodes, and it probably would have been comparable to Jessica Jones, especially considering the timeliness of it. But again, I felt like it moved on. And as I've said multiple times, I feel like Cottonmouth was a little bit wasted in season 1, let alone on Luke Cage, period. Because Mahershala Ali is just so much of a powerhouse of an actor, especially watching him in Moonlight and watching him in Mockingjay. He's just such a beacon of amazingness, just a beacon of pure fucking awesome, that his arc almost felt out of place. He felt underpowered but overperforming for what they gave him. So I kind of wish that they would have moved him around more and not did what they did with him. But we're trying to keep this a very spoiler-free episode as a whole, so I'm going to drop it there. Yeah. So, in short, too late, I realize, because I'm a flippity gibbet, but 8 episodes for The Defenders. What do you guys think? Too much? Too little? Just right? I'm falling on the side just because of all 4 of them, so many personalities. I'm going to say just right to potentially 2 episodes too little.
Yeah, I was thinking that 9 or 10 episodes could end up being a sweet spot, because you have to imagine that they're probably going to be struggling to figure out how to all work together for a little while. I would expect at least 2 episodes of them not really meshing well, not really gelling, and probably continuing aspects of that throughout the entire series, but having most of the bugs ironed out. So I would assuming that time frame is roughly correct, that leaves 6 episodes of actual meat. 6 episodes of actual
Yep.
I'd get going after the bad guys, whoever they are. Going after the aliens and Sigourney Weaver. Going after Ripley.
Right. Now, keep in mind, this is supposed to be the Netflix Marvel show's equivalent of the Avengers. Okay? And we've had 13 episodes in the first seasons for all of these shows. 2 seasons of Daredevil so far of character development with all of these people. All right? And this is only talking about the 4 Defenders. In this trailer alone, it looks like we're already getting Claire back. It looks like, I'm pretty sure I saw Foggy in there. We definitely saw Elektra. Looks like we're getting Colleen Wing back again. We saw Misty Knight in there. It's a possibility that Misty Knight's going to end up getting her robot arm in this as well. I have no idea what's going to happen. I don't know how lucky we'll get. But there's just so many characters, so many personalities, so many indomitable actors that are going to be on the screen that for the first time, I'm nervous about the length. I'm not positive that they would need a full 13, but I'm not sure 8 can contain this in a sufficient way. I think that I'm going to feel better about it because I'd rather feel rushed in a couple of spots than feel bored in a couple of spots.
Yeah.
Feel like you're dragging. I'd rather you give me too much in 5 minutes than 5 minutes spread out over a half an hour. That's kind of how I feel.
Here's an interesting perspective that I'm going to throw at you. So we are worried that the Netflix Avengers, we'll just call them the Netflix Avengers, aren't going to have enough time to tell their story in 8 one-hour episodes, roughly. Right around 8 hours of TV.
Right.
How long are the actual Avengers movies?
Approximately 2 hours.
About 2 hours
You're
each.
right.
So
you're right.
I don't know. I mean, if they can do it, granted they have bigger budgets typically, and they have more explosions and probably better special effects, whatever, but they can tell a pretty decent story in 2 hours, and I'm sure there's always more room for exposition, and either you always want a little bit more of this scene or a little bit more of that scene. But, all in all, I've been fairly entertained by the Avengers movies. So saying that
overall, so have I.
That 8 hours isn't enough for the TV Avengers to get through what I'm guessing is one storyline, maybe one major storyline or two coinciding storylines. Maybe we're jumping the gun a little bit.
It's possible. Yeah, I mean, here's the thing. The movies are very action-driven. You know what I mean? They're very, you've got your big bad, here's some action, a little bit more plot, here's your action, get the fuck out of there, drop the mic. And keep in mind, I'm not complaining about that because that's actually what I love and praise about these movies. So I would say that Avengers is comparable to Captain Avengers 1 or Iron Man 1, or even though I'm not a fan of his solo movies thus far, Thor 1. That's kind of how those feel. Now, on the other hand, the Netflix shows are a lot more, in cinema terms, like Captain America Winter Soldier, which is, in my opinion, the best of the Marvel movies, because it has that character-driven espionage feel to it. It has the action, sure. You've got your car chases, you've got your explosions, you've got your espionage stories going on, but it's very, very quiet movie. It's a very wordy movie. It's a very character-driven story. It's about the characters, not about the conflict. And that's what I love so much about these Netflix shows. It started out with Daredevil, where it was about Matt. It was about his story of... It can be summed up in his little dialogue with the priest at the beginning of episode 1. I'm not asking for forgiveness. I'm not asking for penance. I'm asking for forgiveness for... How did he word it? I'm not asking for forgiveness for what I've done. I'm asking for forgiveness for what I'm about to do. And it's about his road to becoming who he believes he has to be. And the fact that he's Catholic and he's wrecked with that Catholic guilt is a central point to that. It's about his journey. It's about Matt's journey. And yes, the conflict is around him, but ultimately it is the story of Matt Murdock becoming Daredevil. And in season 2, you have the dual stories between Elektra and the Hand, with Matt is in there as well, and also the whole story of the Punisher himself, Frank Castle. Again, action-packed, violence, gore. It has everything that you want. It has those Avengers elements, but it is a character study. At its core, Jessica Jones is about a badass bitch who's a detective that's fighting an ultra-powered Superbad. But when you really look at what Jessica's story is it's a rape survivor story. And it's very character-driven on her end as well, with the PTSD and the alcoholism. And how do you cope with having not only your body, which is implied it happened, but also your mind being taken from you, being seized from you, control to such a deep degree taken from you. I thought that the story itself was so amazing. And that's the number one reason why I give the show such high praise, is it put it out on Front Street, yet layered it under superpowers. So much so that it almost seemed subliminal that that's what you were watching. And also as a throwaway statement, this is also a show, and the only show that I can think of, where throwing a fetus into a blender and injecting it into somebody's body is a central theme of the plot. So yeah, that happened in there too. So yeah, that was yet again another long monologue from me about the differences between two. So that's why, ultimately, I think that's why I'm questioning if 8 hours is going to be enough to tell this, because you've got so many personal stories, so many character-driven stories, so many character-driven characters that are going to be all teaming up and getting a new big bad with all of this awesome. I'm not sure how it's going to be contained, but I would rather have this many episodes and just chuck all of them full of everything that is awesome than to have 13 and have 3 episodes where I'm like, you could have sped this up, buddy. You know?
Yeah, I hear you. I'm going to trust them until they're wrong, I guess. That's going to be...
Same here. And ultimately, this whole statement about this being 8 episodes was meant to just be a throwaway statement.
30 minutes later.
30 minutes later, and talking about a fetus in a blender, we reached the end of that aspect. So, all right, man, we got Dark Tower, we've got the Defenders, they're coming to you guys. You can't stop them, even if you wanted to, and I don't know why you would want to. Now, I did that one for you.
I know, I love it.
We definitely want to get to our main topic, and to do that, I'm going to give you guys a quick review of one of the best movies to come out in so long, Guardians of the Galaxy 2. This is not going to be a great review. This is not going to be an in-depth review. This isn't going to be the type of shit that you guys are used to from us. I think we reviewed these trailers more than what I'm about to give you. So here's my review. Go see it. If you liked Guardians 1 at all, go see this movie. It has everything that you loved from the first and a lot more of it. Not to mention, if you loved Groot before, you're gonna love the shit out of Baby Groot. You got Rocket back, you got Drax, who's right out on Front Street, so you're getting more of him, and I love him more every time he opens his mouth. I didn't know John Batista had it in him. Okay, I've seen wrestlers try to get into the acting game before. You can't all be Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson. It just can't happen. John Cena tried, and he failed miserably. Batista, he's got a shot. He's definitely got a shot at a future in this medium. Even just doing characters like Drax. You know, I'm just so out of control impressed. Gamora's back in a big bad way. We got Nebula back. Fucking Star-Lord. And we're getting a fun look at the family dynamic. Because ultimately, just like the Fast and the Furious movies, this is a movie about family. It's about the family that they've created being the Guardians, and it's about an absentee father. Because, as no secret to anybody, because this has been out there on Front Street and people have been talking about it since it was revealed at Comic-Con, because apparently swearing people to secrecy does not shut down Twitter. We get to find Star-Lord's father in this one. We get to find out that he has a dad named Ego, the Living Planet. We're actually getting Ego, the Living Planet, in a movie, and he's played by Kurt Russell. Who would have thought that we would be living in this world? And furthermore, after seeing this movie, and this is the only quasi-spoiler you guys are going to have, and it's not even an actual spoiler, I now am advocating for a remake of The Fifth Element, because that is what a sentient planet looks like. That is what you need. That is what we want. I'm really not sure what that planet was supposed to be in Fifth Element, but more of Guardians, less of everything else when it comes to that. Aside from that one thing, Fifth Element was good. But that was enough for me to say, do it again, but do it like this. Pay attention to Guardians, do that, and then just splice in all the old footage and you're fine.
Which one thing are you referring to?
I'm referring to the sentient planet. The whole reason that they have to assemble the 5 elements in the first place.
Okay, I just don't remember that movie that well. I just wanted to make sure you weren't ragging on the rock opera scene.
Oh God, no!
Because I would have to fly to Buffalo and slap the shit out of you.
Oh God, no! Oh dear God, no! I believe this. Holly believes this. Brooke believes this. We've actually all talked about it while drinking wine because we're that pretentious. That is one of the best choreographed fight scenes of all time. The music is perfect. The techno music, the operatic singing, the fact that Mila Djokovic is just a badass, kicking those dog alien creature looking things, just knocking them all to hell. One of the best things ever shot as far as fight scenes. So no, I'm not besmirching that. As a matter of fact, I don't even want them to redo that part, just splice in the old footage.
Okay. I was just checking. You've been surly tonight. I wanted to make sure.
I haven't been that bad. All right, I've been a little bad.
For yourself, for a regular person, no, you're still fucking flowers and sunshine. But for Robbie, you're like surly lightning cloud over here.
Oh, now I'm depressed.
Don't be depressed. It's actually enjoyable. I like surly Robbie because it reminds me of how awful as a human being I am compared to you. When surly you is still like a million times more positive than I ever am on my good days.
You know, dude, I don't like to curse the darkness. I want to light a candle. You know, we've got so much awesome happening to us right now, and we've also got so much negative going on in the world right now. You know, North Korea's run by a fucking maniac.
Hell,
you got shit going over in Syria.
North America is run by a fucking maniac.
North America is being run by a fucking maniac.
The United States part, at least. Canada's probably still doing fine.
Yeah, well, they got Justin Trudeau up there. I mean, dude, I just feel safe looking at that guy. Handsome motherfucker. How did the Canadians got that handsome guy up there?
Maybe we can get them to invade us and just take over.
You know what?
A pleasant invasion. Like they'll walk across the border with their tanks and like, sorry, and they're like, okay, it's fine. Give us healthcare, please.
It's like, okay, we're gonna take this. Sorry, here, have a donut. Okay, we're occupying the Buffalo Museum of Natural History right now. Sorry about that. It's okay.
Figured it was about time we got you some healthcare.
Absolutely, we're gonna be taking care of all of this from A to Z right there, you hosers.
Yeah. Would you like some pancakes?
Wow, we must be really offending our Canadian listeners right now, and for that,
hold on.
Go ahead.
They're all watching the NHL playoffs. It's totally fine.
All right, we're good then. Keep in mind, we're not actually making fun of Canada. We love Canada.
Got it.
You guys gave us hockey.
I wish we were Canada most of the time now.
There's so many times I wish we were Canada, bro.
Not so much the weather, not so much the cold.
Oh God, no.
But the competent government trying to take care of your people. Well, this is not a politics show, so we'll just leave it at that. But we are not we are lovingly poking you, Canada, because you're doing so much better than this. We are stalking our ex's photos on Facebook is what we're doing.
Yep. You guys have Justin Trudeau, and we have the human equivalent to Justin Bieber's latest album, or Kevin Federline's solo album. That's who we have. Anyway, back to fun times. After all that depressingness, it's time for our main topic. And our main topic, after that very awkward review of Guardians of the Galaxy 2, go see it. It's so good. The reason I brought up family in there is I want to talk about our favorite families in movies and in television. And I got to tell you, Guardians is starting to get up there for me. I mean, you've got some classic ones. I'm trying to think of unconventional families in this, just because, you could always throw out the Bradys or the Partridge Family, fucking Happy Days and shit like that. But I'm trying to think of unconventional families like the Guardians, where they become a family almost out of necessity because they're war compatriots and friends, and they just become a close-knit family. And it was never more evident than the way they deal with Baby Groot during the movie. And I'd love to be able to talk with you about this in much more detail after you watch it. But Baby Groot is really the glue that holds this whole movie together as far as family being a central theme. Okay. Up to and including an out of his mind absentee father. So you got that, and going with what I talked about at the very beginning of this episode, what is the Addams Family? Like, are they goths? Are they monsters? Are they witches? I mean, I know who they are. Wednesday, Pugsley, Morticia, Gomez. You got Lurch by the door. You got Granny. I get who they are, but what are they? And how do they have so much money?
I don't know. Someone might know. They might know.
These are questions that I ask at night when the winds are rising. These are questions that I ask myself. I lay at home at night and I wonder, is Cousin It a monster or just a homeboy with like the reverse of alopecia?
The real question is, how did Uncle Fester get his own game on the original Nintendo Entertainment System?
I have absolutely no idea. That is such a good question, and I feel so stupid for not asking that. That is a very good question. You know, they make jokes about killing each other. You know, Wednesday tries to chop off the baby's head with a guillotine in Addams Family Value, and the baby stops it with its little baby fingers. Uncle Fester survives an electrocution and a bomb? Are they immortals? Are they monsters? Are they the gods of old? Kind of like American Gods style, and they just kind of married? Like, who are the Addams Family?
I don't know. But this reminded me of something that you probably wish you had not reminded me of. Who would you cast to redo the Addams Family?
Oh, God. Well, I haven't thought about that during the course of the episode, but let me try to think about it now while I ramble on about why I even brought up the Addams Family. I brought them up simply because I love their dynamic. They may be weird, creepy and kooky, mysterious and spooky, you know, the Addams Family, if you will. Thank you. However, I defy you to find a husband and wife that are still so passionately in love with each other, even after having 2 children that are obviously teenagers. Sure, you see parents loving each other a lot in movies and in TV shows. Sure, you know, it's not out of the norm for what you see. But it's not common to see 2 parents, 2 partners, paramours, husband and wife, that are so passionately and absolutely and fully encompassed in their love for each other. You know, referring to each other as Galamia, mon cher. And, you know, they just go at each other. It's wonderful to see. You know, even as dysfunctional as they are, as creepy human, maybe they're not human. I don't know what they are. But if you really think about it, man, they're like the quintessential mold for what you want your relationship to be with your spouse. I think it's an absolutely beautiful thing to see in movies and in television. So I just love watching them together.
I don't have much to add, unfortunately. I'm just trying to think of who we could cast.
I'm over here talking about love and passion, and Adrian's like, yeah, that's fine. But who would you cast? Because we live in a world of remakes and reboots, and that is a good point.
No one cares about this love shit.
Chris Pratt. I would cast Chris Pratt, the Star-Lord himself, as Gomez.
Okay.
He may not have the suave demeanor as much as Raul Julia did, but I think he has that sense of whimsy that you want. On top of that, just because I've seen her acting chops in other movies, most people only know her as April Ludgate. And yes, I realize I'm copping out by putting together a romantic couple that was in one show, and I'm transferring them to another. But I think that Audrey Plaza would make an excellent Morticia. Personally, I think she'd make an even more perfect Wednesday, but, you know, she's not age appropriate for that role any longer.
Well, so you could make her age appropriate. It could be an older Addams Family. You'd have to shift the ages of Morticia and Gomez.
Well, if we're going to shift ages, then maybe I want to go really old and put Cloris Leachman in Morticia's spot. That was a joke, although only a half joke, actually, because now that I said it, I kind of want to see it.
Wait. Cloris Leachman, who is she? I feel like I should know, but I don't. Off the top
you
of my
should.
Head.
Young Frankenstein?
Oh, she could be the old aunt, maybe. How about that? I'm looking at a picture right now.
Oh, yes!
And what about Tim Burton's wife could be Morticia?
Oh, Helena Bonham Carter?
Yeah. She does crazy.
She does crazy, but Morticia's not crazy. She's
subdued.
The more
crazy.
subdued of the two. You know, Helena Bonham Carter would just try to be Bellatrix Lestrange. And if we're doing that, then obviously Johnny Depp is going to be playing Gomez.
Which actually could work.
It could.
I don't know
but
that
he'd try to put on face paint, and eventually he'd end up with prosthetics involved and wearing eyeliner. And...
You're right. Jared Leto.
Well, I hope you guys enjoyed this episode of Nerdynomicon, because I'm just going to end it now. No, we'll keep going for a little bit longer. But not with Jared Leto. Never with Jared Leto. No. Ever.
Now, how about for Uncle Fester? Depends on what age we're putting them at.
Oh, God. Uncle
I was thinking
Fester.
maybe Patton Oswalt.
I love that idea. I think that is absolutely brilliant. That would be such a great Uncle Fester. The only other one I could think of right now would be Jonah Hill. But I like Patton Oswalt better.
Yeah. What about Lurch?
Lurch.
See, I was going to go in a different direction. I don't know that it would work. But I was thinking casting someone like The Big Show. You know, like somebody that's just huge.
You know what? I don't think we need just huge. I think we need that awkwardness.
Right.
And he's shown that he can do it before. Why don't we give him another role outside of sci-fi? And why don't we bring in John Batista?
Could do that. See, the thing with Lurch, he's tall, but he's not huge. He's just very tall and kind of lanky.
Right. But here's what I liked about the way Batista plays Drax is he conveys so much humor with such minimalistic dialogue and facial expressions. Just because of the context, his facial expressions and his body language that he implements is absolutely hysterical. And who would have thought that he would be some of the biggest comic relief in both Guardians movies? So based on that, I really think that if he brought something akin to that to the role of Lurch and gave Lurch a little bit of dialogue in this, I think that John Batista would actually be quite a good addition.
Okay. Let me go in a different direction for Lurch. I don't know if he's ridiculously tall, and they might have to do some camera stuff for it. I don't know that I know the actor's name. He was Gabe on The Office. He's in Silicon Valley.
Oh, that guy. Yes. What is his name?
I don't know. I just saw a video of him.
Oh, he is absolutely funny. Now, that is a different type of Lurch completely.
Oh, yes.
Oh, my God. You know who he would be great as?
Zach Woods is his name.
Zach Woods. Yes, thank you. No, that's definitely a good pull, but that is a completely different type of Lurch. You know who he would be great as, though? In the remake of Hocus Pocus, he would be phenomenal as Billy Butcherson, the zombie that they raise up.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Yeah.
I think he would be brilliant in that role. But no, that is a good pull. I like that. I like where your head's at.
You know, it would be interesting. You pulled Christina Ricci and made her Morticia. Like, just to have the generations.
That would be cool.
Up.
That would be cool. You know, the more I'm thinking about it, even though I love Aubrey Plaza, what about Kate McKinnon for Morticia Addams? I think she would be good.
Could see that.
Yeah. All right, we need to quickly cast the children.
New people. I don't know kids.
Why don't we just take a cop out with the girl and cast 11 from Stranger Things?
Sure. No, we need a tubby kid.
Yeah, a tubby kid.
20 years ago, Jonah Hill.
Nice. Yeah, that's just it. I don't know child actors all that well. I mean, the majority of the ones I know, they're now not even considered child actors anymore, just because of Game of Thrones.
Yep.
I think Bran is the only one that's still technically a kid. I don't know who I do for Pugsley, really.
Yeah. He's the least important anyways. No one likes Pugsley. I don't even remember his name. I remembered all the other ones' names, except for the aunt. Oh, real quick. Oh, you know what?
Yes.
This could work for either the aunt or Cousin It. Whoopi Goldberg.
So Addams Family is going to be my choice, just for the passion, just for the love, the romance, the mystery of what the fuck are they? So if we're talking favorite families in TV and movies, I got to go Addams Family, man.
That's a solid pull. I did not consider them. I actually had a hard time with this one, considering anything outside of what I thought were two very, very obvious answers, both from the TV realm. the first one. Well, I'm gonna go with the second one I thought of instead of the first one. So the first one's super obvious. And actually, while we were talking, I thought of a joke number 3 answer. So we'll go. That'll lead. But anyways,
well, which one's the throwaway answer? The one that's way too obvious, as he said.
No. I don't want to do the obvious. I'll do. So I was thinking shows that I watch a lot of, and shows that have families, and there's not a huge intersect in there. And, we watch Always Sunny, or we watch The Office, or we watch these other shows. And it's all about locations, or, it's about a bar and people that work in a bar, or it's an office and people work in an office. And it's,
right.
There's not a lot of family stuff. There's, like, Modern Family. We don't watch that. There's these, like, family sitcoms. They don't really hit our radar as much anymore. I remember growing up, there was a Step by Step, and there was the Family Matters, and, like, there was that whole, like, TGIF lineup of family-based comedies.
Step by Step.
Which honestly, I didn't
Boy
even...
Meets World.
Yeah, I honestly didn't even think of Step by Step until just starting this little monologue here. But, so the only ones that we really watch now, probably the one that we watch now, is Bob's Burgers.
Good. Okay. I like that one.
Yeah, I mean...
That one's a good pull.
That's a solid family. They're semi-realistic. They're not perfect. They have a lot of problems. They try to work through them. They're not rolling in cash. They're not, but they're trying to make ends meet and make things work and provide for the kids, but also live out the dream of the father to have the restaurant, and they get into hijinks. And, there's a couple of other characters that are regulars, and typically their customers will show up. But yeah, that was the one that came to mind after the first one. And it's funny because Bob's Burgers is a cartoon. And the only other show that I could think of is also a cartoon, that's Simpsons. And that one's been going on for ages.
Ooh.
So
yeah.
I was actually kind of surprised you didn't say anything about The Simpsons. Granted, I haven't watched it in a long time. I stopped watching the more recent episodes. But it's good enough that it's still going. So you have to give it credit there. I love the early episodes.
Yeah, the thing about The Simpsons, I sometimes forget that it's still on, and then I'll see a bunch of new episodes on Hulu, and I'll just binge them. It's still good. It's still fun. It's still funny. It's still going, man. And that show is about as old as my wife.
Right?
That is the creepy part.
So, I mean...
There are kids that can vote right now that are younger than The Simpsons by a decade.
Right? Wow. That's sad to think about for me.
Yeah, I know.
So I
know,
mean,
man.
That was immediately when you said families of movies and TV. It's like, well, I'm going to talk about The Simpsons, even though he's going to talk about them too. I was surprised that you didn't say anything about them. Granted, we don't have time to go over everything. As I said, Step by Step, Boy Meets World, Family Matters, all
right.
Dinosaurs. Right. If anyone remembers that.
Oh
awful.
My God, dinosaurs. Now that is deep fucking cuts too.
So.
Oh man. Not the mama. Ping.
So, but my joke answer is based off of The Simpsons. And I think one of the better families we've seen on TVs or movies has to be the Seven Duffs. And it ties back to you because the best one was Surly, and you're Surly tonight. And Surly only looks out for one guy. Surly.
The Seven Duffs.
Oh, please tell me you know about the Seven Duffs.
I don't think I know about the Seven Duffs.
How do you not know about the Seven Duffs? Okay.
I'm not sure how I don't know about the Seven Duffs. Maybe if I got context, I'll remember the Seven Duffs.
There's like, I think they call it Duff Gardens, where they're making fun of Busch Gardens. And it's, yeah.
Oh, the Seven Duffs. Okay. Yeah, I gotcha.
There's, and they're making fun of the Seven Dwarfs. And there's, tipsy, queasy, surly, sleazy, edgy, dizzy, and remorseful. I don't know that off the top of my head. I've had to bring up the Wikipedia page, but. Yeah.
Yeah, yep. All right, I do know the Seven Duffs. When you brought that up, immediately, every time I hear Duffs, and that includes the chicken wing joint around here, I immediately think of Duff's beer. So when you brought that up, my mind immediately went to Simpsons, but I thought you were talking about a different intellectual property. So I'm like, wow, I've never even heard of this. What is this? Then once you started to talk about Duff's Gardens, I'm like, no, that's Simpsons. Okay, we're still in Simpsons world. All right, we're good here. So my mind went into a different angle, but it kept on trying to come back home. All right, I know what you're talking about.
Oh, man. I love Duff. That's so great. That's such a fantastic just running gag.
You know, just as a novelty some year, they should release just a limited quantity of Duff's beer.
And they should also release an even more limited quantity of Doof.
Yes. I mean, you know that people would buy it. Remember in 2015, they released Pepsi in the exact same bottle as it was in Back to the Future Part 2 when he went to 2015. Mm-hmm. They sold out instantly. $10 for a thing of Pepsi.
Yeah.
You know that Duff's beer would sell out instantly.
But it wasn't $10 for a thing of Pepsi. It was $10 for your childhood. You know what I mean? Like, it was $10.
Exactly.
So.
Exactly. And, you know, The Simpsons is still popular enough to stay on television, but there are generations right now that don't really know that much about The Simpsons and probably don't really care that much about The Simpsons. We grew up with The Simpsons.
Oh, yeah.
The Simpsons has been on since my wife was born. Okay? She's 28. The Simpsons is 28. I was 3 years old when The Simpsons premiered the very first time. I've grown up with it. I remember being hyped up for the Simpsons movie. I've grown up on the Simpsons Treehouse of Terror. As a matter of fact, as one of our Halloween traditions every year, we binge watch all the Treehouse of Terror episodes. And I can't tell you how great it is to now have like 28 episodes of them. It's so excellent. I don't think that there are 28. I think they started them like 2 or 3 years in, but still. The Simpsons is just not just a part of my childhood, it's a part of me. It's a part of my life, you know, knowing that The Simpsons is on at 8 o'clock on Fox on Sundays. It's great. So you know that I'd be buying Duff's beer.
Oh, yeah.
I've tried to get 2 6-packs. One for the office here just to have on display, and one just because I want to have a Duff's beer with my friends. And we would do it in full cosplay. And we would film it. And we would put it up on Patreon for you guys. Speaking of which, if you guys like what we're doing here tonight, if you want to help us out, if you want to support us, help us keep the lights on, go over to patreon.com/artfulgremlins. Check out a bunch of our rewards there. You get early access to all of our shows when applicable. There's a whole bunch of different reward tiers, up to and including coming up with a main topic for discussion for either this show or Couldn't Be Models. Not to mention voting on lore episodes for our Nerdynomicon YouTube series, which is going to get started next month. If you guys want to contact us, if you want to tell us how much you enjoy the show, if you want to email me and tell me, dude, Robbie, you're fucking surly in that episode. Fuck you, man. Okay, that's fine. We just love hearing from you guys. And you can email us at nerdynomicon@gmail.com. You can tweet at us at nerdynomicon. You can get me directly at Robbie the Saber, spelled with an R-E. Adrian, where can they find you?
At King Awesome 2 Gs.
And if you guys like Instagram, we're going to be using that a lot more, taking pictures, putting them up there. You guys can see the crazy nerd studio where the magic happens and where I get all surly. And you can follow us there too, at Artful Gremlins, which is our production studio. You can find us on Instagram there. I think that's going to take us out of this episode, man. We've talked about family. We got a bunch of reviews in. We talked for almost a half an hour about a 2-minute trailer yet again.
Like
we couldn't help it, man. Like you do. It was The Defenders, man. So I guess that's going to be it. Until next week, I've been Robbie.
And I've been Adrian.
Let's close the book on this week.